hip-hop culture with DJs and singing graffiti art are expressed every day within the inner cities of America and the world. You are not hearing hip-hop, you are hip-hop.
Oh, okay. Let me get right into it. Because it's one of those Fridays, people. It's one of those Fridays. You know what you can't see, and I hate it. Maybe I acted up a little bit, but I am wearing my family reunion shirt. This is from 2012, and there's this family tree on this shirt that represents the Cloud family, my ancestors. And so before I get into the topic of the American dream, I do want to share a little bit of our family history, what we have been able to find. Now, I want to say this. I want to give a shout out to my mother, who got me interested in this back in '93. We had one of the largest reunions ever. And I have not lost that focus on our history. I haven't lost it. And so I'm going to bring up a little video, because there is a website that looks at the entire history of the surname Cloud. And so we're looking at a page from my great-grandmother, Rosaline Cloud. She is my grandmother's mother. Her nickname was Maggie. And the cool thing is we are able to submit information so that we keep the history of this name going. So she died when she was 86. I said her nickname is Maggie. Some of her kids are missing, so we have some spots to fill in. I can see that. And her father was Jacob Cloud, born on Valentine's Day. And he died in Belleville, Texas. And it shares about his mother and what they could find out about him. But his father, now these are all of his kids. It was 14 of them. That's why this tree is so big. But his dad was Daniel Cloud, and Daniel Cloud was a slave of Jeremiah Cloud. Okay. So we know who enslaved them, right? And when Jeremiah died, they did an appraisal. You know, the whole probate thing. They did an appraisal, and we can see what the values were for the 7 slaves that he brought with him when he came to Texas. We can see what their value was, right? Now, the information is coming from his family, and we have also donated information as well. So when we say that people are trying to get the entire history of a name, there are people who are dedicated to this. So we can see here that on October 18th, when they went in, there was a Negro woman for $450. There was a second man, Daniel, who was appraised at $800. There was a third woman, Bessie, and her children. That was $1,350. There was a 6th man, Lynn. He was appraised at $1,100. Joseph was appraised at $1,200. And then they were eventually sold and, as they say, set free at some point, right? They were bid off to someone else after Jeremiah died. And so Daniel ended up staying in Belleville, Texas, Austin County, and they were able to make other moves like in Hempstead and other areas in Texas. So we have the history of some of my family. Now, this is my mother's side. I have not looked into my father's side, but we do have the history of my mother's side to a certain extent. They are still looking for information. So I will say that there is still work looking for the information to get all of what really is. Now, I have often said that when you shake that tree, you may find some people that you didn't know were in your family. I find it, I'm going to use the word encouraging, that there are people on that side of the family who are not living in this illusion that their loved ones did not enslave other people. So let's talk about Jeremiah, right? Really quick. We don't have a picture of Jeremiah. We do have a picture of his great grandson. That's William, but Jeremiah himself, we don't have a picture of him. They can't even find his grave. He and his wife Elizabeth, they can't find his grave. They are still looking, but they have not been able to find his grave. But he was a farmer. Came to Texas. You know, Texas was giving out some land to lure in immigrants and things of that nature, right? They also use land to pay soldiers for their services in the revolution. So it goes into what kind of, you could say, citizenship was given to them when they came over, immigrated from Europe, right? So we got that much. But the part that I really want to get into is when he came to Texas, because he brought people with him. He brought enslaved people with him. And when I talk about the American dream, we have to remember some things out really quick. And I'm not trying to be funny, but when he passed away, his obituary, what they wrote for his obituary was that, you know, he lived a pretty good life. You know, he left behind a unsullied reputation, numerous family. He had one wife, only one wife. His kids, his great grandkids, his grandchildren, all the things. Now, there was speculation that he had another kid that came out later. And we don't know about the enslaved people. We can't even talk about that. But I do want to talk about that the slave family, the families owned by Jeremiah and Elizabeth Cloud, right? They mentioned Daniel, Betsy, Chrissy, her two children, Lynn and Joe. And this is coming from one of his descendants. This information is coming from one of his descendants that they moved to Belleville and Sealy and other places. And Daniel Cloud, my great-grandfather, was born in North Carolina, had children born in Tennessee. He may have come to Jeremiah's family from someone else, so sold again to someone else. And he talked about how his grandmother mentioning going to visit where the blacks live. And he knew that they had some slaves, but he never really got a chance to even visit with them. But they are still looking for information. And it's something to be said here that some of the people who were enslaved were given to daughters because the women could not own property. And people who were enslaved were considered chattel property. And such sales were recorded in the probate records. So when we talk about the American dream, and I think it's a beautiful story. I really do think it's a beautiful story. We have to keep in mind who we're talking about. And yeah, that includes women too, right? We were seen as property, includes women too. When I say it wasn't designed with us in mind, because it wasn't about us. But we're going to talk about it because, you know, Gwendolyn loves talking about things. I love getting into things. And so we're going to talk about the truth about the American dream, why it was never built for us. Let me go ahead and play this intro music. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, so let me keep going because I'm in the midst of it all. This is Guuuuurl. Listen, we're streaming live to LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, I love you over there, but you can also come over to YouTube, just saying. And speaking of which, because I do have it on the other side, there is a survey going about the American dream. Do you believe in it? Would love to know what your thoughts are. Do you believe in it? And I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. So before I go too far, I do want to get into some comments because I know I like to get right into the topic to set the stage. And Jazzy is here. Hello, Jazzy. Dr. Tachi is here. She says, good evening. For people, that's from Jazzy. People are giving their hellos. Letta is also here in the building. She says, I've always wanted to do something like this. Let me tell you, I feel fortunate to even get that much. Now, I know some other people are able to get a lot of their history. And the beauty of Black families and others doing a family reunion is to keep the story going, to know your history and where you come from, whatever that looks like. Whatever it looks like. So yes, I myself and my fellow cousin, we even found some images of some of the paperwork where our members were sold or purchased. Look, Ron Foster is here. Hello, sir. Thank you for showing up. I know you're out there gallivanting in France. We're happy to have you here, though. Lisa is here as well. We have more hellos coming in. All the hellos. Yes, Cloud. Now, this particular website does look at a few other surnames that are very popular in the US. So you might want to check it. Maybe there is somebody there that you know. Maybe it's part of your family, and you can see also the different variations of a name. So that, and it is quite interesting when you start digging through all of it. And again, I say this again, I appreciate that they have it where they want the family members to share what they know, to record it. We're not sugarcoating that Jeremiah enslaved people, he and Elizabeth. We're not sugarcoating that. And I also love how they talk about where the sources are. Some of you may know that a lot of our history was recorded in a Bible. Do you guys have one of the family Bibles that in the beginning of the Bible or some towards the back, there was a family tree that kept all the things? Now, my grandmother kept obituaries. I didn't get it at first. I was like, oh my goodness. Wow, she had a lot of them when she passed away, a lot. But in the obituary, you can get information about your family, how many kids they had, what their names were, things of that nature. Just saying. Oh, and thank you. Yes, I'm trying to up my game. Trying to up my game. You know what I'm saying? Trying to up my game. Yes, Lettuce says the American dream was not meant for us. No, it was not. And we've got more hellos, all the hellos. Let me get back into this conversation so we can keep it going. As he says, most history was kept in the Bible. Indeed, yes, it was. There was a place for the Bible. There was a place. So let me start. Let me get back into it. Oh, and I got to take this down so you can see it. Let's talk about what the American dream is really quick, because the American dream, we've heard about it. Everybody talks about it, but it's the belief that the United States is a place where anyone can achieve a better, richer, fuller life through hard work, upward mobility, equal opportunity, is rooted in the Declaration of Independence, the promise of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And then, of course, that became popularized by historian James Trullo Adams, who described it as a society where people can rise to their fullest potential regardless of birth or social position. All right, let's really break that down. We have talked about the house and the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, a dog. We talked about that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually saw a house with a white picket fence up in Nebraska. When I tell you, I was like, this is a real neighborhood? What? I was entranced. I was like, the hell is this? Yeah, it was new for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was new for me. I was like, you actually have that fence? Oh, okay. That's yeah, and around the entire house. Let me tell you, I need a 6 to 8 foot fence in my backyard. I don't want to see nobody. And I said nobody. I know it's a double negative. I don't want to see nobody. But that was the talk, right? If you just work hard, if you just put your head down and grind, you too can live the American dream. Okay. And then you realize there's a couple of things that put some of us at disadvantage. There were a couple of things. Some of us had a leg up. Some of us are just given some things. I mean, like I said, they were giving land away to entice. And we're talking mad acres. If you were married, you got a certain amount. If you were single, you got a certain amount, like mad acres. Man, whew. Before I continue, let me bring in Jazzy's comment where she says, I'm going to see if I can find my family on there. My mother's family, both parents are documented, more my grandfather's side than my grandmother's side, but it's amazing the resilience. I'm telling you. For people who can trace their roots back through, Ellis Island, I think it's beautiful, but we know for a number of our people, and the number of people who were snatched, the talent, the genius that was snatched, that didn't make the trip all the way over, how families were just broken, torn apart. For those who are able to find their history, their roots, I think that's awesome. I am happy that we're able to get this much. I'm so excited that we're able to get this much history about my mother's family, who is here. Shout out to my mother who is here. He said there's a reason why they call it a dream. You know what, Ron Foster, you are correct. Thank you. You are correct there. As Jazzy's laughing about the is it really like 2.5 kids? I don't know why they had 2.5 kids in there. The American dream is a lie, but you must create your own dreams. Some families were tossed into the ocean. Yes. Whew. If we have to go down that and talk about all of that, but we will. We may have to do a little something else that comes from that. But let's talk about what the dream really means. Okay, let's just get into that, because it was supposed to be about the chance to rise, the ability to grow, to build a life defined by possibility. But that considers that everyone is created equal, right? It considers that everyone is created equal and that we have the right to pursue happiness. Yet, all of a sudden, in this timeline, your happiness depends on what I believe in. You want to dictate who I can marry. You want to dictate how I can live. You want to choose my religion for me. Isn't that what a lot of folks came over here to get away from? Was that not it? But check it. The dream was imagined by people who were writing about freedom at the same time, enslaving millions. Enslaving millions. You are writing about this freedom, but you, Jeremiah, brought 7 people with him. They didn't have that freedom. They didn't have that freedom. As Lisa shares that her mother came through Ellis Island, your mom's side. Oh, that's exciting. Would love to know what you found out about your mom's people. Dr. Chachi shares only certain people are permitted to have their dreams realized in America. Ooh, Dr. Chachi. Shots fired there. Lettuce says, oh my goodness, my grandmother had a family Bible. My cousin has, look, the family Bible kept all of the history for so many of us and our families. It's like if you got a Bible, the very first thing was to fill out the family history because it kept all of it. Like that's how you knew who was what and what was going on, through the family Bible. It's a keepsake. It's a very important part. Now, I can't tell you what families are doing now. I can't tell you. But let me continue before we get to more of these comments. So it was never about enslaved people. We know that, right? Because as it said in Jeremiah's history, as his daughters were being married off, they were gifting their daughters. No, take it back. They were gifting the son-in-law enslaved people because women can't own property. And enslaved people were seen as chattel property. So at the heart of this dream, this life, liberty, sort of happiness, that was legally denied to all these enslaved Africans. They were defined as property, not people. So the economic engine of early America, what did it depend on? Enslaved labor. Meaning the system was designed for their work to create wealth for others, but not for themselves. I didn't even get a chance. And it is one of the things on my list of topics I want to investigate. I really want to find out how many patents were created by folks with the melanin who they have no control, have received nothing from? I really want to know. I want to know. When people talk about how immigrants build this country, and yes, they did contribute. We cannot forget, as our dear Ms. Ali said, this country was built on the backs and the blood of enslaved people. Please trust and believe that. Trust and believe it. As much as I like reading about Jeremiah Cloud, the 7 people he had in his possession, yeah, all those acres and things, the farms that they were growing, they had a corn and cotton and watermelon farm. Yeah, that had to be worked by some people. My people. Yes. Their labor, their genius, that helped them build wealth, but it didn't build it for themselves. They were not part of that equation. When they talked about this American dream, we were never a part of that. My people were never a part of that. As Lisa says, I just don't feel the American dream is doable anymore. And the white people at my son's school were like, wait, what? A lot of them don't realize Black folk coming from all shades, even the biracial. Yeah. And Mama says, God is no respect of person. There you go. Look, we are going to continue with this as we just dig a little bit deeper into this dream. And I don't want this to be something that leaves you in a place of despair, because this is more of a reckoning for a lot of us. It's more of a reckoning. Like, here's the deal. These European settlers and all their aspirations, that was not the lived reality of those who they forcibly brought here. We were never part of that narrative. Never part. There was never an idea of upward mobility. That was never part of the equation. It was never part of that dream. Never part of it. Though I think it is great to talk about it. You mean the European colonizers. Thank you, Dr. Touchy. I stand corrected. Thank you. Yes, the settlers. Yes, the colonizers and colonizers. Yes, that was never part of it. Never part of it. It's great to talk about, and I know a lot of us like to wrap our arms around some of these ideas because we've heard them over and over and over again. I'm just saying, at some point, you have to recognize what the real deal is. That's what I am saying. That's where I am in my life. Now, you can do whatever you want to do. Trust. What you do, it doesn't matter to me. But I do want to leave with this, right? Because here's the whole point of this. This is why it matters now. Here's what's powerful about what's going on right here, right now, as a lot of us are finally waking up. That traditional American dream, it's been a myth for a number of years for a lot of us. A lot. You are right now in this moment. Every single person watching this now or in the replay, thank you for watching the replay. You are free to imagine something different, something real, something rooted in your values, something rooted in your joy, something rooted in your community, something rooted in your liberation. You have that power today. You have that. You do not have to keep doing what someone else has done. And check it really quick. Check it. These young people out here who are caught up with the influencers trying to have a Mercedes E-Class at the age of 19. If that's not your dream, man, give it up. Trying to be like people who it's just why? Why? For what? You do not have to be in that game. You don't. You don't have to be in that game. It's not even necessary. It's not. We have the power in this moment to reimagine what our dreams are for our family and our community and our kids, our friends, our loved ones, for our own liberation. We have that power right here, right now. You have that. Let me get to some comments really quick. Jazz says, my great-great-great-grandfather was a part of a settlers group in Arkansas, and they developed an all-Black town during Reconstruction. It's so fascinating to read about it. Ooh, please share those details. I would love to dig deeper into that. Would love to get deeper into that. As Ron says, nice, Jesse, that's so cool. I agree. I would love to hear more about that. She says they had schools, markets, banks, etc. I love reading about it because when you think about it, we are always fed the narrative that we could not and did not have anything. Listen, a lot of us in the audience know that we have had a lot. Black folks have had a lot when they were given their freedom. Finally, we went and did our own thing. And when we did our own thing, and some people got a little jelly, were a little angry that here we were with the bare minimum, striving, thriving. They burned it down. They flooded it, bombed it. They built freeways through it, train rail, like anything possible to ruin it. Yeah. And we're not going to talk about food because there's a reason why oxtails cost so much money nowadays. Again, given the scraps, and all of a sudden it is now a delicacy. Okay, sure it is. Let's never forget who they were. They are colonizers. Thank you, Ron Foster. The young folks, including my son, don't want a house with a white picket fence. The dream is kind of dead. Maybe there is a new American dream. There is a new American dream. There is. That shouldn't be a dream anyway, because if they knew the maintenance on those cars, they would probably say, wait. When I was young, I would go to the car show and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to get this car. And then when you get older, you're like, okay, what is the yearly maintenance on this car? What is the average gas per mile in terms of city and highway? I need to know those things because as an adult, what you look for absolutely changes. Absolutely changes. $1,500 for a headlight. Look. We want to talk about tires. You want to talk about tires real quick? There is no longer a dream in America. It's a nightmare to just survive for most of our young people. I agree. One day I will learn to type without typos. No, it's the machines. They're out to get us. It's the machines. Be an original. Thank you, mother. Built airports upon our folks' lands and communities. Thank you, Ron. I forgot the airports and parks. Don't we have some parks somewhere? There are parks somewhere. Yes. They do that because they know that in order to feign excellence, they have to squash down the people who actually are excellent. They can never be excellent, but they can be jelly. They stay jealous. They stay there. So I want you to dream big dreams. Dream big dreams, because this is it. This is that moment, right? You can choose what your family looks like. You can choose how you define success. You can choose what is the dream for you. Like when people talk about, well, this is my starter home. It could just be your home. It ain't got to be a starter home. It's a home. This is my home. Some of us are so tied up into getting the approval of this, that, and the other. It don't even matter. Some of us are working extra hard to get the proximity to whiteness, and for what? Look, cut it out. Full stop. Recognize what it is that you want. Recognize your values. Stand in that. Reimagine what your life could be. Leave that, the 2.5 kids, the dog. Matter of fact, you may not even want to get married, and that's okay too. That's okay too. There is no need to get caught up into the dream of other people who, when they wrote this dream, it depended on other people being enslaved. We don't have to go there. We don't have to go. We don't have to be there. It is not necessary anymore. In fact, I don't think it was ever necessary. We have to keep in mind that there are a lot of messages that were sold to us. And I'm going to stop really quick. Hold on. Let me just, I need to come full screen really quick, because I don't even think we realize when we talk about propaganda and messaging, just how much is out there. Like, we don't think about it. If you're just tuning in as I'm about to wrap this up, this is Girl Listen. Okay. And I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. All right. So I recall not too long ago, maybe about a month ago, the husband was watching some old Westerns. And there's this one episode, I think it was Rifleman. I can't remember. But there's one episode where there is this Indian, as they say. He had got married, but he and his wife, who was from Mexico, need a place to stay. But this Christian family said, well, they're not married as we see them being married, so they have to get married again. And he's like, but I'm already married. So they could not stay together in this house. They had to have separate rooms because they weren't married. And then they were telling him that he needed to adopt the white man ways. I kid you not, this is what they said, in order for him to be accepted by society. So in the very next scene, you see him with his haircut. He's got his haircut. He's got these new clothes, and he was able to get a job at the local bar, and he's sweeping the floor. And there is a cattleman throwing food on the floor for him to give him some work. So of course he gets upset. So he goes out to help the people who were coming in on the stagecoach. And this white lady screams, "Oh my God, he scared me. He scared me." Because she had never seen somebody like him come and help them before. And so the message continues that if he just adopts more of the white man ways, that it'll be easier for him to get a job and keep a job and become part of the community. Now, this is what was on TV in black and white back in the day, right? It's like, okay. But you look at it now and you think, oh my goodness. You know, we talk so much about propaganda, but even the TV shows that were being produced, they all had messaging. Donna Reed, Leave It to Beaver, all of that was messaging. The Rifleman telling this Native American, this indigenous person, that he needed to assimilate to be accepted into this town. When you decide to get your head out of the sand and recognize what's really going on, I don't know, maybe the life will just be better. What can I tell you? Let me get back to these comments. We can wrap this puppy up as Tachi is talking to Jazzy and her family. And yes, Central Park. Yeah, Central Park has a history, people. Central Park. She says, I know it's not popular, but I've never wanted to own a house because all I see what that is signs. Look, it's work to have a house. Somebody has to do all of the maintenance and all the things that come with it. Pick your own path is what I say. I don't even know if I want to own a house. I know a lot of people think that's stupid, but I can call my maintenance company. They will come and fix my toilet with the quickness. Do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you. But think about it. So many of us were told that if you just work hard, if you just get straight A's, if you're on top of your class, then things will work out for you. And all of that is BS. We know that if you're qualified for the job, you'll get it. It's not, look, we ain't got time for that today. She said, that's fine. Maybe investment property to make a residual income. You could be, but now that you're a landlord, you still got to think about that work. But it can work in your favor. It can. I saw that episode of Rifleman because Marlon and I watch it. Thank you. When you look at the stuff that was on TV then, you look at it now, I get it. We talk about different times and I get it. But you cannot help but say, okay, now that we know better, dear God, let us do better. Let us be better. Let us recognize all the BS that's been sold to us for a number of years. Can we please just see it for what it is? Thank you. Letta, you're always here for me. I appreciate that. Jan says, that's a thought for sure, Lisa. I may need to look at that. You can look into it. You can look into it. Look into it. It's a thought. It's a thought. But we have choices now. We have choices. That American dream, it was if you have any inch of melanin and if you're a woman, because check it, you couldn't own property either. That American dream, it was not for you. So duly noted. As I said, they were given enslaved people, but it went to the husband. It was for the son-in-law. Okay? It wasn't for her because she couldn't own property. Let me not go back down there again. Let me not do it. Let me wrap this up because we got some events coming. We've got, next week. Yeah. Hey, we're going to clear the clutter. Emotional, digital, energetic blocks. You need to release. This timeline, y'all. This timeline is so exhausting. Oh my God. It's so exhausting. But we're not going to let it get to us. So we have some ideas for you to like realign your chi. Elon Musk says yes. we have some ideas to let you clear the clutter, all the things. We're going to talk about that next week. We also have happening in March on the 11th, we're doing a content creation strategy. So if you're on YouTube, hey, you might want to roll through, check it out. There's a QR code there. There's also a link on the Luma calendar. There's a link on the Luma calendar as well, but you can scan that QR code. And lastly, not lastly, but if you haven't got on the email list, because us staying connected, it does matter, go ahead and scan that QR code. You can also go to the grhjack.com website. So I do have some last things. Hold on. I was like, wait a minute. I got people. One, I want to shout out my glasses. I got to go back in. I had my eye exam yesterday. Nope, nothing has changed. Thank you. Thank you. Really, thank you. But I am going to go back and get some more readers from Gliss Optical. Check her out at glissopticalonline.com. Yes, she can style you virtually. Or if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, she has 2 stores. So you want to check that out. I also want to shout out my friends at the conference call.
Hello and welcome to the Recap Show. My name is Chris Edwards. I'm here with my other 2 co-hosts, TJ and Ronald. Every week we join you and recap one of your favorite shows. So don't forget to like our page, to subscribe, and to also hit the notification button so you can get notified every week when we drop new videos. New videos drop every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Thank you guys for watching, and we can't wait to see you guys next week.
Loved, and they really do have a great show. And to just wrap it up, I need to shout out myself. It is that season. Yeah, it's spring is around the corner. You've got Mother's Day, Father's Day, senior sessions. It is time to get on the books. You can do G Photography by G to get that scheduled and get yourself set up. Don't wait for the last minute. I know people do, but please don't. Thank you, Lisa, for rolling through. Everybody for coming through. She says, have a great weekend. This was a great conversation. Of course, Ron is saying good night for Montpellier. Yes. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it is nighttime for you. So you're on a whole other thing. And if I can, let me check our poll here because we have 17% who said they're 50-50 on believing in the American dream. And then 80% said, heck no, they don't believe in the American dream. I want to thank you all for coming through today. I know it's almost midnight there. You are literally almost a day ahead. Almost there. But I do thank you for rolling through because I know it's late for you. So appreciate the hubs rolling through. This again is Girl Listen. I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. Thank you all for watching now live, or if you're going to watch in the replay. And I will see you all next Friday, Lord willing. Hey, it's G. Thank you for watching this episode of Girl Listen. Be sure to catch me every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And while you're here, I cordially invite you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you all next week.